Hej Bilbjørn og Adam, og hej velkommen til den her video. I dag der er jeg sammen med Adam hos Gtechniq i... Where are we, Adam?
In the UK. Northamptonshire in the UK.
Ja, og i dag der skal vi se lidt på og vise jer, hvordan I påfører Gtechniq CSL, EXO og C1. Alright, Adam?
C1, yep.
Yeah. What do you have for us?
So first of all, we've got the panel wipe.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on to the version 2 of the panel wipe.
Yeah.
This is a blend of solvents and alcohol designed to remove any polishing oils.
Yeah, so always a critical step before we do any type of coating, always panel wipe.
Yeah, it's a very important step that some detailers skip or they don't do enough of, but the coatings are chemically bonding to the substrate. Okay, so in this instance, it's clear coat. Okay, for the coatings.
Yeah.
So the panel has to be nice and clean for that chemical bond to happen. If there's any polishing oils or waxes, sealants, any product on the surface, it will prevent that from happening.
Yeah.
So if you've spent the time polishing, this step is important.
Yeah. And you told me before that the panel wipe is a mix between a solvent and a alcohol.
Yep,
yeah,
agreed.
Why is that?
So the solvent will help break down some of the polishing oils, and then the alcohol allows it to flash off. Okay, with ours it's like a medium flash off time, so it's not super quick, but it's not a slow flash off. So hopefully we can see that on camera. Yeah. And it just gives you a bit of time to work it in and then buff it off. Okay. But yeah, both of the chemicals are going to break down the oils. Okay, great. Okay. For this product we recommend using 2 cloths. So we've got one here and then we've got the main one, and we always recommend any liquids, any sprayable liquids, to do it away from the panel. Yeah. Okay, just so we're not spraying it everywhere. Yeah. So with this, we'll just spray some panel wipe.
Yeah. Aldrig nogensinde spray ind over bilen.
It can be quite wet as well.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to work in small sections. Okay. And then take the second cloth to buff it. And this is the flash off that we're talking about. Yeah. If it was really fast, it'd have been gone. Yeah. And if it's slow, it stays on there for a long time. So ours is like a medium one, and it just allows then to take a cloth and just gently buff that off. Okay, and now that will be nice and clean, ready for the coating.
And you work in sections, like 40 by 40 or 60 by 60?
A little bit bigger, yeah, maybe 60 by 60. If you go too big, it will flash off before you can buff it. Okay, so if you work in smaller sections, it gives you a bit of time to get your cloth and buff it off. Otherwise, if you did the whole panel, if you start buffing it here, it will be dry by the time you get to that bit, and it can leave a little bit smeary if you leave it on there.
Yeah. And just a short explanation in Danish. Når I laver den her aftørring her inde i coater, så arbejder I lidt mindre områder gange. Sådan noget 40 gange 40 cm, 60 gange 60 cm. Igen 2 klude. De her korthårede typer her. Og simpelthen arbejder jeg stille og roligt frem. Yes.
Perfect. We'll just do that section. This has already been wiped down, so we can do the tape line, and then we can talk through the 2 different products.
Yeah. So in the Gtechniq line, we actually have for clear coat, we have 3-4 different coatings. We have, of course,
two base layers. Yeah. So C1 or Serum Light. Yeah. And then really just the one top layer, which is the EXO. Yeah. We do have C2, which is a water-based spray sealant, which is fantastic if the customer doesn't want to use the EXO. Yeah. But in terms of coating, 2 base layers, 1 top layer. Okay. Nice and simple.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And then of course the Crystal Serum Ultra for the professionals.
Yeah. 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 So 3 in total. Yeah. But for the consumer, it's the 2.
Yeah. Okay. So now, let's say as a professional or as a DIY, I see there's a different type of Gtechniq coatings. Which one should I choose?
So the Serum Light is what we recommend for modern clear coat gloss finishes. Okay. So most of the cars on the market will have a gloss finish, will be a metallic paint. The Serum Light is the most advanced coating that we do. Okay. Okay, apart from the Ultra, but for everyone else, this is the most advanced.
Yeah.
This one here is C1. This is suitable for all finishes, so a bit more easier to use. This is for matte, satin and gloss.
Yeah.
The difference is that this is a quartz-based coating.
Yeah.
So what that means is it will sit on the surface and it will go hard.
Yeah.
Okay, this is an example of the C1, so you can hear here. This has gone really hard, so it will sit on top.
Okay, you can see the crystals.
And you can see bits on here, yeah.
Yeah.
So what that will do is it will sit on top of the paint and form a hard layer. As I say, that's quartz based.
Yeah.
So it's quite old technology.
Yeah.
C1 is the original coating that Gtechniq started with, and Gtechniq's been going 23, 24 years now.
Okay.
So this is very old technology, but it works phenomenally well.
Yeah.
So it still works really well.
Yeah. I thought that every coating should be a hard coating.
Yeah, yeah. That's very popular opinion.
Yeah.
But what happens with the Serum Light is this is a composite coating. So believe it or not, this won't go as hard, but it's actually sinking into the pores of the paint.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not just sitting on top like this, it's working its way in.
Okay.
So you get a much more durable, longer lasting coating.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just very different ways of working, but this one is sinking in and will last a lot longer.
Okay.
Both super easy to use, but this is the preferred one. But as I say, if you've got matte paint, satin, or single stage paint, so older vehicles, this is the one to go for.
Okay, great.
Okay, and if someone is really nervous about switching from a wax to a coating, and they're really nervous, this one's really easy. So it's a real easy pick. So.
Yeah. Great.
What we'll do is we'll do a tape line and we'll just show you the difference, because even on application, there's a difference between how they look and how they feel.
Yeah.
So we'll just show you that.
Ja. Så jeg håber, at I kan følge med derude, selvom det foregår på engelsk. Men jeg skal nok lige prøve at forklare lidt undervejs. Men som Adam han siger, jamen C1'eren, typisk den her coating, som der er til, hvad skal man sige, til alle typer overflader. Altså single stage, hvad hedder det, vi kender det, Unilak, glansfulde overflader, som vi ser det her, men også hvis man har en mat klarlak for eksempel, så kan man også bruge det på det. Og det er sådan en keramisk coating, som der bliver sådan meget hård, sådan lidt en klassisk coating ting, men den bliver på toppen af klarlakslaget, hvorimod at Crystal Serum Light, det er en coating, som der går ned og sådan ligesom bliver en del og går helt ned i lakkens porer.
So with these products, we always recommend just to check, make sure the seal is nice and tight, not been open, and that the liquid is nice and clear. Give it a light shake as well.
Yeah.
The C1 comes with a dropper, and the CSL comes with a pipette, which you'll see.
Yeah.
So this comes with a dropper. So again, you need to prime the pad. So we're going to put enough on here, just so it's got a bit of a wetness to it.
Ja. I kan se, der kommer altså noget coating på, så det må man godt lige første gang, man bruger den her. Lige putte noget
and then with the
på.
Serum Light, with the C1, sorry, you can apply in a cross-hatch motion, so you can go from side to side, but again, similar to what I showed you a minute ago, we recommend finishing in the direction of the panel on all coatings.
Ja, og det er måske lige en ting, som der er vigtigt at få med, men let Adam just apply it, then we can talk about it.
So for this, I'm just going to go sideways.
Yeah.
And then I'll go up and down.
Yeah, and you can see there's a rainbow effect already. Yeah, man får sådan en regnbuefarve.
So with this one, it will do that. You'll get that rainbow.
Yeah. So you are applying it and then you box it. You make a box around it?
Yep, you can do. This is super easy, and you can do full panels with this, so there's plenty of time.
Yeah, and you're doing half a hood here.
Half a hood, yeah. And then I'm going to go top to bottom now.
Yeah.
Which we recommend on all the coatings.
Yeah. And the reason for doing the last, what do you say, application from top to bottom is what?
One, it's more even.
Yeah.
Two, you can see when you've applied it and when you've finished.
Yeah.
And secondly, as the coating over the years start degrading, it does it more evenly.
Yeah.
Rather than if we go this way and that way, you get areas that have not bonded as well.
Yeah, and you told me also a little bit about the water behavior could...
Yep, so with the EXO especially, the way the dirt is removed and the water behavior, you'll see it work better in the direction of the panel.
Yeah.
So on a bonnet this way, and then on the side of a vehicle working downwards. So when we rinse it, you're going to naturally get the beading in the dirt flow off a lot nicer.
Ja, så man kan sige, når I påfører coatingen, jamen så den afsluttende, hvad skal man sige, påføring, altså applikering I laver af den, altså den følger den, hvad skal man sige, den retning, som panelet har. Så for eksempel på frontklappen, så er det i den her retning her, på døren herover. Jamen, så er det i den her retning her, fordi så der, når vi spuler med vand, så vil vi have den bedste effekt af, at vi har den der smudsafvisende og vandafvisende effekt, at det løber, hvad skal man sige, den retning, som panelet har. Så lige en vigtig pointe, I lige tager med derude. Alright.
So the flash off time with C1 is quite slow, which is what makes it so user friendly. When we're talking flash off times, we're talking about the evaporation of the solvents leaving behind the product that you buff off. So when it's really fast, like the Ultra, it means you need to be quick. With this product, you've got 2 to 3 minutes of time. Okay, so we could have easily have done the full bonnet, but when doing half, I mean, this is nearly ready now because of this indication. Okay. But it's nice and easy. There's no panic. There's no rush with this one.
Okay, so we are awaiting a more even rainbow effect over the panel.
Exactly, but if you come to the side here and you start looking, it's the rainbow oiliness is now starting to flow all the way through.
Yeah.
And if we give this a light wipe, which I'll do in a minute, which is what we call leveling.
Yeah.
It will then go even more rainbow because we've thinned it down. Okay. So I'll do that now just to show you. So outer edge in on all the coatings.
Fra yderkant starter vi, og så kører vi ind mod midten.
No pressure. This is leveling the coating, so we're not buffing off the residue yet.
No.
We're trying to just spread it and just let it settle into the paint.
Yeah.
And now you can see, hopefully, that it's even more apparent, that rainbow effect.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and now we'll just start buffing it. With any buffing of the coating, we do recommend a slight sort of flick of the wrist, so it's this sort of buffing action.
Yeah.
The reason for that is if you go straight lines, in most cases it will be absolutely fine, but sometimes it doesn't pick up the product as much.
Oh, yeah,
so a little buff like this picks up the coating a lot better.
Yeah.
And you can finish in the straight lines.
Yeah.
We always recommend at least 2 cloths as we're working with the coatings. And usually between 6 and 10 cloths for the car. Okay. Because you need to switch them out. Yeah. Okay. Good. So this is only the second cloth. Yeah. And you can see it's pretty much all come off. Now what you'll get with the C1 is it's not as slick as the CSL, so it will set up a little bit grabbier, and this does take longer to cure. Okay. So with C1, we recommend a minimum of 4 hours, but ideally 12 hours before you put anything on top. Okay. Because it's quartz based, it needs to harden, and it hardens with temperature. Okay. So this is the only coating that we still don't recommend it because it's not really needed, but if a detailer or someone does have the curing lamps, it will speed this up slightly. Okay. It's not needed. If they have them, fine, but if not, just leave it, but it's a minimum of 4 hours. Okay. What will happen is if you go too soon, the solvents in the next layer of EXO or whatever you're using will take it back off. Okay. Or degrade it. Okay. So when we use C1, we wait until the next day and then we put the next layer on, and it bonds really well then. Okay, so if we want to do more than 1 layer of C1, you never do 2 layers C1? No, well you can do, but we recommend really 1 layer C1, next day EXO. Okay. And that will be, the EXO is perfect. Okay. The EXO is, we'll talk about it, but it's slicker, more hydrophobic. Yeah. Everything's better in that sense. So. Okay. Okay. Godt nok. Så lige sådan en recap.
af hvad vi lige snakker om til jer, som der ikke forstår så meget engelsk. Jamen, når vi applikerer det, så venter vi på, at vi får den her regnbuefarve. Så laver vi en aftørring, hvor vi aftørrer ikke coatingen, men vi sådan nærmest sådan fordeler den ud, så det er en let berøring, vi sådan så laver med overfladen. Så tager vi en frisk klud, og så laver vi, hvad skal man sige, selve aftørringen, sådan så at panelet det bliver fuldstændig jævnt og blankt at se på. Hvis vi så godt kunne tænke os at toppe coatingen op, det vil sige putte noget ovenpå, for eksempel den, som der hedder Exo, for at give en ekstra god hydrofobisk effekt, jamen så venter man til dagen efter, altså venter 24 timer til med at putte den på. And Adam, what do you say? Is it 24 hours and then I can drive my car if I use C1 or?
Yep.
Okay.
So all of the coatings, once applied and buffed off, is a minimum of 12 hours before it can get wet. 12 to 24 is the recommendation. And they're all 7 days before a shampoo wash.
Okay.
Yeah, before any chemicals can go on there. So the rain is okay, but an actual chemical wash with snow foams, 2 bucket method is 7 days.
Okay. Så en god dag fra, når vi har coatet, til vi udsætter bilen for vind og vejr. I hvert fald 12 timer. Og så en minimum en uge, inden vi vasker bilen første gang, og helst gerne længere tid. Yes.
Perfect. So with the CSL, Crystal Serum Light, CSL for short, this one comes with a little pipette. Okay, so we just need to prime this one as well. So we do that by applying about 3 to 4 pipettes.
Så for at få...
And again, can be circles, straight lines, it doesn't matter. It's just trying to get the pad so it's not dry. We're just trying to get
is that first time or is it every time?
It's just the first time, and normally about half a pipette for each section after.
Okay, så når vi starter med Crystal Serum Light, så tager vi lige en 3-4 pipetter og gør applikatoren godt fugtig i det, og så kan vi klar til at applikere, og så derfra så er det kun cirka en halv pipette, vi bruger af gangen.
And then same principle, cross hatching, finishing the direction.
Okay.
And again, you got a bit of time to work this in, so you could go for the straight lines, sideways, and then the straight lines, or just go straight into the sideways.
Okay.
And as we've mentioned before, ideally you don't want to start on an edge, because it's going to drop the product off too heavy. Okay, so normally we'd start in the middle, and we can work down. And then we can work back up.
Så vi starter inden for cirka midten af panelet og arbejder vores vej ud, for ikke at have for meget produkt ud mod kanterne.
So super easy to apply. Put a little tiny bit more on.
Putter vi lige lidt mere på. Og jeg ved ikke, om Oliver, han måske lige kan få med på billedet, men den bliver jo ikke regnbuefarvet, ligesom C1'eren gør. So, if we don't see the rainbow here, what are we looking after?
Okay, so we call it sweating here, or flashing off sweating. What you'll see with the serum light is you'll see a group of lines with little dots in. And it's the group of lines that you're looking for. Once they appear, then it's ready. And with the with the serum light, it's normally about 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes. Normally about 1 minute.
Okay. Så det som vi kigger efter, det er at vi får nogle lige linjer, og det er også den måde Adam han afslutter på her, med nogle små prikker imellem, og det er typisk efter et minuts tid, man vil kunne opleve det, at den gør det, og så vil man kunne begynde at aftørre den. Og igen, husk det her med, at når vi påfører Gtechniqs Coatings, at vi laver linjerne afslutningsvis i forhold til hvilken retning som panelet det vender. Så en dør ned ad siden, lige linjer, ikke på tværs, men lige linjer ned. Alright.
The advantage with the serum light is the overcoat time. So really we recommend going around with the serum light on the vehicle. And then leaving for 1 to 2 hours, and then you can go on with the EXO. So much quicker than the minimum of 4 hours, but really the 12 hours with the C1. So you could do the serum light and the EXO in the same day, whereas the C1 and EXO, really you want to be doing that the next day.
Okay.
But this is only suitable for gloss finishes. And modern paints.
Sorry. Ja, og igen, jamen CSL til moderne lak. Vi kan putte altså topcoat hen over den. Exo efter
1 to 2 hours.
Ja, Exo kan vi putte ovenpå efter 1 til 2 timer. Og så igen et halvt til et helt døgn, inden vi sætter bilen ud i det fri.
Okay, so you can see these lines if you come a bit closer, and again I'll do the same as the C1, where I'll do a light wipe, which is going to level the coating, and they'll be more apparent.
Yeah.
Because both of these coatings are slower flash off, that means that you can do a bigger panel, which means when we do a smaller section, we just have to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But this is why they're so easy to use, because you could do a full door, take a couple of minutes putting it on, and it would still be okay.
Ja. Og igen, ligesom før, lave en let aftørring. Nu kan man faktisk lidt se den her regnbue-effekt. En lille bitte smule. Ikke lige så meget som med C1'eren herovre. Og så når man har lavet den aftørring her, jamen så laver man en aftørring igen med en ren klud. Ja.
Okay, but this is what you're looking for. That nice even look of the lines, and up close there's little dots on there as well. So when that's happened, we just gently buff it. Again, outer edge in.
Ja, fra yderkanten af og ind mod midten.
And then we take the second cloth.
Ja, så tager vi klud nummer 2.
And if you feel, I'll get you to feel the difference. If you feel that to that.
Nice. Super glat herover. Lidt mere grippy herover.
So this one that's settling up, it's starting to harden. This one is just, it's already sunk into the paint, and it's already leveled off, so to speak.
Ja, okay. Perfect. Ser rimelig nemt ud. Virker nemt og lidt mere glat herover, end vi kommer til herover. Men begge coatings, nemme coatings, som alle vil kunne finde ud af at påføre. Igen det der med, at man lige gør sig sine forholdsregler, tager sig tiden til det. Måske også sørge for, at man har noget med god belysning, sådan så man kan se, hvad man laver. Nu siger jeg ikke, at vi skal have et Gtechniq-studie hjemme i garagen alle sammen, men man sørger i hvert fald som minimum at have en... what did you put the scan grip?
Så my trolley.
Ja. Men i hvert fald sørg som minimum for, at I har noget, for eksempel sådan en scan grip lampe her, sådan så I kan gå og se, hvad det er, I laver, eventuelt med en diffuser på. Så er det lidt nemmere for jer at se, om der er noget produkt, som I glemmer et eller andet sted. What happens if we forget to wipe something off, Adam? Are we screwed? Or?
So again, being the most user-friendly coating with the C1, if you leave any high spots, which is what you're saying with areas that have been missed, you've got a window of 1 to 2 hours to actually put more product on, and it will the solvents in the product, because it's slow. Okay, it's going to blend that back in.
Okay.
So if you see a little bit, sometimes you can just blend it in and buff it off, and it'll be fine.
Okay.
With the serum light, you can't do that. If you leave any high spots or smears, you've only probably got about 10 minutes before you need to buff them.
Okay.
Any longer, for example, like 1 hour, it will just dry, and you would have to polish that off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Så hvis vi bruger C1'eren, og der er et sted, hvor vi ikke lige har tørret af, jamen så kan vi inden for de første par timer lige tage og reapplikere det igen. Within the first few hours, right?
I would say, 1 to 2 hours, but maybe 1 hour, and you'll see it as a rainbow. You can clearly see, because it's that rainbow effect. You can just put a bit more on.
Så kan vi være heldige, bare applikere produktet igen, og så tørre af med det samme, så kan vi være heldige, at vi ikke får nogle problemer. Herover med Crystal Serum Light, der er det lidt en anden sag. Hvis vi ikke får fjernet det inden for 10 minutter, så skal vi altså i gang med polermaskinen igen. Så det skal man bare lige være opmærksom på.
Because it's curing quicker.
Ja. First, thank you Adam for the nice demonstration. Håber at I synes derude at det lige gav jer lidt indblik i hvordan man påfører C1 og Crystal Serum Light og hvad I skal være opmærksom på i forbindelse hermed. Adam og jeg, vi vender tilbage i den næste video, hvor vi kigger på hvordan du påfører Gtechniq XO, deres topcoat, som du kan bruge oven på de her coatings her for at få en ekstra hydrofobisk effekt. Tak fordi du gik med i den her video, og vi ses i den næste. Hej!